In the quaint yet unsettling atmosphere of their newly acquired Victorian house, the Johnson family pulled up to the weathered front steps, hearts racing with excitement. The sun cast a warm glow over the dilapidated structure, illuminating the intricate details of its architecture, yet shadows danced teasingly in the corners. With each box they unloaded from their moving truck, they whispered promises of new beginnings, of laughter echoing through the halls, and memories waiting to be made. As they explored the house, the creaking floorboards echoed with stories untold. Every room seemed to have its own personality, its own whispers from the past urging them to listen. However, it wasn't long before their journey of discovery took an unexpected turn, igniting a spark of curiosity that would soon become a fire of trepidation. While unpacking in the dimly lit hallway, Sarah, the family's teenage daughter, noticed a peculiar door at the end of the corridor, one that seemed to defy logic. It was an ornately carved entrance, its intricate patterns reminiscent of a bygone era, but there were no keys or indications that it was part of the original layout. She called her family over, their curiosity piqued by the notion of the unexplained. As they gathered around the mysterious door, an inexplicable chill swept through the air. The atmosphere grew heavy with anticipation, each member of the family exchanging glances that spoke volumes. Why was this room locked? What lay behind this barrier, hidden from their eager eyes? The feeling of a forgotten past clung to them like a fog, coaxing them closer to that tantalizing mystery, leaving them yearning to uncover the house's secrets. As days turned into weeks, the allure of the locked door loomed larger in their minds. Already, whispers of laughter filled the grand kitchen, and the scent of home-cooked meals wafted through the high ceilings, but something darker simmered beneath the surface. Sarah found herself drawn to that door almost obsessively, sketching its design in her notebook, contemplating the possibilities of what it could hold. Her dreams became haunted by images of the room, filled with dust and relics of other lives. With each passing moment, the family's bond to the house deepened, entwined in a tale of mystery and suspense, unaware that the true essence of the home was about to entwine their fates forever. What they would soon discover behind that antique door would reveal not just the house's history, but a formidable connection that transcended time, sealing their destiny in ways they could never have anticipated. As the Johnson family began to settle into their new Victorian abode, life around them started to transform into something otherworldly. At first, it was subtle, an untouched picture frame that seemed to tilt slightly, or the soft sound of footsteps echoing when no one else was home. The children brushed these incidents off as their imaginations running wild, but as evening fell and darkness enveloped the house, the atmosphere thickened with an unsettling presence. They began to see fleeting shadows darting past the windows, and oddly enough, objects would shift positions overnight, taking on a life of their own. Sarah, who had already been captivated by the mysterious locked door, felt a magnetic pull toward the house's history, igniting her curiosity even further. Each odd occurrence unfolded like a spellbinding narrative, leading them toward the haunting past that awaited them. Determined to understand the energies swirling around them, the family turned to dusty old newspapers and local archives, hoping to unearth the house's secrets. What they found was a tapestry of heartache and tragedy, a story of the previous owners that sent chills down their spines. Articles chronicled strange disappearances, whispers of madness surrounding the family that once inhabited the house, and rumors of an accident involving a locked room. As they immersed themselves in the accounts, it became clear that the house held far more than just wood and brick. It was a repository of anguish, forever entwined with those who had come before. Each revelation felt like a dark thread weaving through their lives, tightening with every story they uncovered. The sensation of being watched intensified, making it harder for them to shake off the feeling that they were not alone. With the pieces of the past falling into place, the family found themselves standing at a precipice, teetering between fear and fascination. What should have been the foundation for a fresh start felt more like a descent into darkness. As they communicated with local historians and delved even deeper into whispered tales, questions haunted their minds. What was hidden behind that door? What dreadful secret did it conceal? With every layer of the house's history they peeled back, the sinister web drew tighter. The echo of the past began to mold their current reality, leading them to a chilling climax where they would confront not just the stories of those who came before, but their own intertwined destinies. And suddenly, the exploration of their new home became not just about finding a place to belong, but a raw confrontation with the shadows seeking to bind them forever. After weeks of unease wrapped around the Johnson family like a heavy cloak, an unexpected event would forever change the course of their lives. While cleaning the attic, Sarah stumbled upon a forgotten trunk hidden beneath layers of dust and cobwebs. Her pulse quickened as she pried it open, revealing an assortment of aged belongings that once belonged to the house's former occupants. Nestled among the odds and ends was an old, ornate key, its surface intricately engraved with symbols that seemed to whisper secrets of the past. With this key, a mixture of excitement and dread gripped them all, for they knew this might unlock the door to truths that had long been concealed. The possibility that the key could lead them to the mysterious room left them breathless with anticipation, but also a gnawing fear about what they were about to unleash. With bated breath, the family made their way to the locked door, their hearts pounding in unison as Sarah inserted the key into the heavy lock. The moment it clicked open sent shivers down their spines. As the door creaked open, a wave of stale air rushed out, carrying with it the unmistakable scent of decay. Inside lay a collection of dusty belongings, remnants of the lives lived and forgotten within those walls. Yet it wasn't just a forgotten storage room. Nestled among the possessions was an eerie diary, its pages worn and brittle with age. As they began to read the entries aloud in whispers, the family quickly realized that it detailed the harrowing fate of the house's former occupants, stories steeped in dread and foreboding that made their skin crawl. A sense of urgency gripped them as they recognized the weight of the truth they had just uncovered, a curse that had haunted previous tenants, now extending its dark tendrils toward them. With each line they read, the unsettling history of the house unfolded, accusations of betrayal, the long shadows of resentment and despair surfacing with each revelation. The journal seemed to breathe with life, echoing the sorrow and fury of those who had endured a life entwined in chaos. An unnatural chill filled the air as they spoke, and the shadows in the corners of the room appeared to thicken, taunting them with whispers of regret and sorrow. The family realized they were not merely in a new house. They had inherited a grim legacy that had turned the home into a trap, binding them to the very essence of despair. As the realization washed over them, fear and panic fought for dominance, propelling them toward a confrontation with the darkness that lurked within their newfound sanctuary. The key they had discovered was not just a piece of metal. It was the harbinger of a chain of events that would forever change their lives and force them to confront the sinister forces that had been set free. As the days turned into restless nights, the remnants of the cursed room began to invade the Johnson family's lives with increasing intensity. The eerie diary had opened a floodgate of unease, and soon the family found themselves besieged by nightmares that felt all too real. Sarah tossed and turned, haunted by visions of shadowy figures reaching out, their faces twisted in sorrow and despair. Her younger brother, Luke, awoke nightly to the sound of sobbing echoing through the house, a chilling reminder that he wasn't alone. Even their parents felt the weight of anguish pressing upon them. Each room seemed to vibrate with the frequency of past sorrows, making the walls themselves feel alive with pulsating energy. As they tried to maintain normalcy, the house tugged at their very core, forcing them to confront the echoes of the lives that had come before. In the midst of these shared experiences, each family member began to receive distinct messages from the past, tailored to their own fears and insecurities. For Sarah, it was a voice like her own, whispering doubts about her worth and her place within the family. Luke, an imaginative boy with a penchant for stories, heard chilling tales of betrayal that mirrored his own fears of being abandoned. Meanwhile, their parents found themselves reliving old arguments in fragmented echoes, arguments that had long as the weight of their individual struggles bore down on the Johnson family. A flicker of understanding ignited within them, the realization that their only chance for survival lay in unity. Determined to confront the malevolent force that shackled them to the haunting whispers of the house, they gathered in the living room, a circle of resolve forming against the encroaching darkness. With the diary open in front of them, they began to piece together the tragic narrative of the previous occupants, searching for clues that could lead them to redemption. The air throbbed with tension as they read together, feeling a connection to the pain that had once gripped this home. This was no longer just the story of their torment. It had become a collective battle against the shadows that sought to isolate and consume them. With each revelation from the diary, the family instinctively sought ways to communicate with the spirits tied to the cursed room. They crafted a plan to hold a seance, hoping to bridge the gap between their living reality and the tortured souls that lingered within the walls. As they prepared candles and gathered objects filled with sentimental value, a mix of fear and hope filled the air. They understood the risks involved. The potential for devastating loss loomed like a specter, but the promise of uncovering the truth drove them forward. As they joined hands in that dimly lit room, they felt the energy swell around them like an electric charge, the atmosphere thick with a sense of purpose and impending confrontation. The seance turned into a journey through haunting revelations, each family member confronted by painful echoes of the past. Shadows flickered in the corners as the darkness sought to exploit their vulnerabilities, but the bond they shared grew stronger with every challenge. They were not just fighting for their own survival, they were striving to free the lost souls whose pain had trapped them. With heightened suspense, the stakes climbed dangerously high. Could they break the cycle of hauntings, or would they become yet another chapter in the house's tragic legacy? As the reality of their situation sank in, it became clear that the outcome would not only shape their future, but would also test the very fabric of their family. Together, they faced the darkness head-on, an unyielding force against the malevolence that had descended upon them, propelling viewers to the edge of their seats as the climax unfurled. In the climactic conclusion of their harrowing journey, the Johnson family stood on the threshold of the cursed room, the air thick with anticipation and dread. Armed with the knowledge they had unearthed and the deep bonds they had forged, they prepared to confront the spirits that had shackled them for so long. The room felt alive, pulsating with the emotions of its past occupants, as if waiting to either be set free or further entangled in sorrow. With shaking hands, they lit candles and arranged the objects of significance they had chosen for the ritual, a blend of their love and the legacies of those who had come before them. As they gathered in a circle, they felt the weight of their shared fear, but also the strength of their unity, fueling them for the battle ahead. As they began the ritual, the atmosphere shifted dramatically. A whirlwind of energy engulfed them. The candles flickered violently, shadows danced along the walls, and echoes of the past surged forth. The spirits of the lost began to emerge, their forms transparent, yet filled with raw emotion. With each heartfelt plea, the family revealed the layers of pain that had accumulated within the room over generations. One by one, they whispered their fears and regrets, allowing the truths to pour forth like a torrent. Bound by love and a mutual desire for closure, they reached out to the lost souls with compassion, recognizing the hatred that had simmered within the walls for far too long. As they acknowledged the suffering of both the living and the dead, they could feel a palpable change in the energies that swirled around them, knitting a fragile connection of understanding. In that pivotal moment, they made a poignant decision to forgive. It was a simple, yet powerful act that resonated through the room like a cleansing wave, unearthing the burdens of resentment and pain that had festered there for decades. As forgiveness washed over them, the spirits began to shimmer and soften, their anguish lifting in response. The haunting energy that had once claimed the home was transformed by this act of compassion, and in turn, the family felt a profound sense of peace. With hearts full of renewed hope, they sealed the cursed room, creating a barrier that would protect both their family and the spirits from further strife.